What is up, people? This is Abraham Walker with Ask A Walker, your Northern Virginia real estate agent. Today, we're starting a new series, right? I was watching a video, a presentation where an individual who is an expert in their field said that the world would be a better place if we had more professionals kind of trying to answer consumers' questions with the consumer in mind. So nothing overly produced, nothing that you sit down and research very thoroughly, but something that if you were in a casual conversation with someone, like how would you answer that question, right? And so they said that this particular interview I was watching suggested that we should do like a question of the day, right? And so we've been in business for 12 years now. We have tons of questions that we receive on a regular basis from our clients, our friends, members of the community, and it makes sense to just do a series, right? Just a little quick daily series, just a touch, kind of talk to you about what I'm thinking about from this, the question I received, right? So the questions I received, I've already either answered them, or going forward, I'll use this video series as a way to answer them. So I hope you enjoy this series. And if you have any questions about the real estate market, about real estate in general, send me an email to abraham@askawalker.com or call or text me. So this is the first video, and I'm super excited about this series, this journey. Okay, so let's start off with a friend of ours, also a client, Cheryl. Cheryl had the following question. She said, and remember, this is April 20th, I believe it is. April 20th, 2020. So we're like 4 or 5 weeks into the coronavirus. We're 4 weeks into, this is the fourth week of our kids, Fairfax County schools, not having school, right? And so Cheryl had this question. Also so I just want to give you some backstory, right? So in addition to just kind of where we are, so if you look at this in the future, you'll know why I answered this question the way I did. We also have the stay in place order. We have what are essential services, right? Which employees are essential. We have telework, a lot of telework going on right now. So this is where we are right now. This is the current climate, okay? So now you have some backstory. Let's get into the question. Cheryl's question is, what impact are you seeing in the marketplace in terms of financing, inventory, and seller expectations and flexibility, right? So this is essentially what Cheryl's questions encompass. I'm going to add something to Cheryl's question because really she was talking about seller expectation and seller flexibility. So I'm going to add buyer expectation and also buyer flexibility as well to kind of complete this thought as far as what's going on in the market right now. So if you've been following my market reports that I've been producing for the last 4 weeks on a weekly basis, covering the leading indicators, then you'll have heard some of this information already. But on the financing side, remember, financing. To answer the financing question, we have to think about the equation of like who's involved in a real estate transaction. First, we have the buyer and seller, right? And in your mind, you're probably thinking those two individuals are very important. Not necessarily. The lender is actually one of the most important players in the real estate market. Remember, the Northern Virginia market, we have about 11% of our transactions are cash transactions. So if we have 11% of our transactions are cash, that means that we have 89% of our transactions that are financed. 89% of our transactions are financed. A very large percentage of those transactions have individuals putting either 10, 15, or 20% down, right? So that means that the bank has like the largest position in our real estate market, and we're a high cost of living area, right? So I'm not sure if this is going to be the same in low cost of living areas, but in Northern Virginia, the bank has a very large stake in our real estate market. So right now, due to the uncertainty of the market, financing is starting to constrict, right? It's starting to get tighter as lenders are uncertain of what is happening with the current market, right? We've never had a pandemic. We've never had, we never had a pandemic, well, we never had a pandemic. We just never had this type of response to any crisis, right? This is the first time we have multiple governments, right? We have multiple countries, continents, whole continents just kind of shutting down. So lending right now is getting tight. It's going to be more challenging for buyers to acquire financing, which means that the buyer pool is going to be smaller. And so if you're looking to buy a property, you're probably thinking to yourself, you know what, this is good. Because now if I'm a well-qualified buyer, that means that I'm not going to be competing against other buyers. That's not true. Because the market, because we have unemployment rising, also we have individuals who are concerned about their health. We have a lot of people pulling their houses off the market. So really inventory is still low, even at this point in time. So financing, to answer your question, financing is challenging right now for individuals who are not well qualified, right? And so that means that the higher credit score individuals are going to be able to buy properties. Individuals who have a lot of money in the bank, who have 20, 30% down, they're going to be able to buy properties. Those individuals are not going to be hurt. It's just going to be that lower tier of the market. Okay, now, as far as the inventory, I just kind of answered the inventory question with my response. Inventory is low. Both on the buy side, we're seeing less pending transactions in Northern Virginia, and we're also seeing less new listings come on the market. Plus, we're seeing withdrawn listings increase, right? And so when we have those three variables, that means that we have a very small market of available inventory. And so that inventory is also going to play into expectations, right? Expectations on the buy side, the buyers, you got to remember, so you don't have to remember this, but just consider, buyers are invested into the property for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? So the buyers are looking at what's going on in the market. They're like, oh my gosh, like this is going crazy. Like this is like, what is happening, right? And so they're like, I need to offer less money for the property. But you see, the sellers are in the market. They're about to get out of the market. So they're very optimistic about what's happening. They're like, oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Nothing's happening. You know, real estate's going to continue going up, 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 up. You got to remember, this person is at the end of the life cycle of this product. They're selling the product to the individuals buying. And so right now, buyer expectations are that prices should be lower. But remember, we have low inventory. So if there's low inventory, that means that you're competing with more people for the limited inventory. So it means that prices are still up. Sellers know this. Sellers expect to still receive top market value for their properties. Now, flexibility. Because the sellers have less expectation that the market is doing bad because they see that less inventory is on the market, they're not that flexible, right? And buyers can't not buy. Does that make sense? Like either you're going to own a home or you're going to rent, right? Either you're going to stay in a smaller property or you're going to get a larger property, right? Like you're always in between some type of state, right? And so if you're in the market, it's because you're either dissatisfied with your current circumstance, and so you are moving, right? I hope that answers your question, Cheryl. Thank you for that question too. It was a very good question. I hope that other people also enjoyed this question. So if you have a question about the local real estate market or real estate in general, please shoot me an email to abraham@askawalker.com. You also can call or text me a question, 703-539-2053. I will ask, if you're not already in my database and you do send me a message, just please let me know where you either saw my videos or what your name is, you know, just some basic information about you so I can shout you out when I'm doing these questions. So, as always, thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.